Hi, everyone, and welcome to OEM Update, where we talk about everything you need to know about this year's vehicle model lines in order to sell them. My name is Megan Cusack, editor of Motorcycle and Powersports News. And even though we're still burning up in the sun, you'll soon be turning your attention to winter fun. So let's talk about the 2025 Yamaha Sidewinder S-TX GT EPS snowmobile. The Sidewinder S-TX GT EPS is a two-up touring model with a starting MSRP of $20,799. So let's dive deeper into what exactly this sled offers. But for that, we're going to go straight to the OEM source. Joining me today to give us an overview of the 2025 Yamaha Sidewinder S-TX GT EPS is Bryan Hudgin, Director of Motorsport Sales with Yamaha Motor Canada and a member of the North American Snowmobile team. Bryan, thank you so much for hopping on to speak with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so we kind of have to address the elephant in the room here, which is, perhaps customer concerns over buying a Yamaha snowmobile. You guys are, phasing these guys out. What would you say to customers who might be wary about getting one of these, final models?
Yeah, of course, we've had this question a little bit as time's gone on here, and I always sort of chuckle a little bit because, they say, where am I going to get parts from? And we say, we've still got parts from snowmobiles that are 20 years old in our warehouses right now, and you see a lot of them on the trail still. So, nothing's going to change there, but there's a lot of moving sort of pieces within that question that you've asked, and so I can kind of address those maybe with a couple different points. So the first thing is we saw a really strong deposit season for what we had for a snowmobile season last winter. It was terrible right across North America. And, a lot of manufacturers, including ourselves, were really expecting to have a really soft deposit season. But, maybe given because it was our last year, we saw a lot stronger than we expected because of the season that we had previously. So the Yamaha faithful came out and they put deposits down. And in some cases, we had to increase our production a little bit. So that was really positive, and it really warmed our hearts and kind of spoke to our customers' loyalty to Yamaha and what we're trying to do with our loyalty back to them in terms of the way that we're exiting the industry. So we had good deposits in our spring season, but the way that we are exiting, we feel like is giving the customer some confidence. And the way I'm saying that is because, we have a really long lead time from when we announce to when we're actually exiting. And we did that for a few reasons. And one of the major ones was for our dealers. We wanted to make sure that they had a strategy and they had enough time to be able to react and be able to absorb the news and be able to kind of plan accordingly for how they wanted to move their business forward. And we felt that was really important that we gave them that advance notice. And, that's something that is kind of unique, I think, in the industry. And it's probably showing other companies may have exited products really quickly and kind of pulled the plug. And sometimes the dealers and the customers are left holding the bag. So it's allowed us some time to be able to kind of maneuver accordingly, and our dealers more time to be able to maneuver accordingly, and our customers some time to really consider and let us get our story out there that we're here to support. We're going to be committed to this industry. We're maybe not making new snowmobiles, but we're here to support it from an after sales perspective. So the other thing we've done to sort of help our dealers out in this situation is we've got really long FFP terms that we're doing here with our latest model years. So we know the season we had, we know the future. We're giving them a lot of an extended floor plan, basically, so that they feel the confidence in us to make sure that they can take on some of our final remaining snowmobiles to sell. For the customer specifically, we did offer a lot of extended warranty in our spring Power Surge program, just to let them know that if you are concerned about the future of Yamaha, don't worry, we've got extended warranty here to kind of give you a confidence to go ahead and make that deposit. But mainly, the dealer and the customer relationship is really what we're focusing on. We know that a lot of Yamaha snowmobile customers are also Yamaha ATV and side-by-side and motorcycle and, outboard, the list goes on, of products as well. And so we really want to maintain that positive relationship that our dealers and our customers have. And if they go in and they decide that maybe a snowmobile isn't their next purchase or it's not going to be, then they're still going to think about a Yamaha dirt bike or a Yamaha ATV or something like that for the future. So this is sort of the extent of our strategy that we really wanted to put into place, is to make sure that customers see that, and they'll see us at all the consumer shows, and we're not busy building up with a new product launch for this winter. So we'll be out in the field a little bit more, and I can speak to that later, I would assume. But that's the emphasis of what we're doing, to give the customers some confidence, and the dealers as well, because they're our own customers as well. So creating some confidence out there in the market.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for, your candid response to that. I know I appreciate it. Our audience definitely appreciates, what you guys are doing to ease any potential fears there. So let's go ahead and turn, to the 2025 Sidewinder S-TX GT EPS specifically. Can you give us a brief introduction to this model? For instance, what types of customers are looking for this vehicle?
Yeah, we affectionately call that one the super coach within the building, because it is a performance-oriented snowmobile, but it can be built for two, obviously, or maybe not, maybe just one, if that's how you choose. So this kind of harkens back to sort of that grand touring type of customer who's going to put on big miles, generally with a passenger. There's the capability to go very fast for very long amounts of time. It's got power steering. It's got a lot of these types of creature comforts and luxury items that somebody who's putting on big miles wants. But at the same time, there's a convenience there where you can take the seat off, the spare seat off, or the back seat, I should say, the two-up seat off. And you can, put some extra fuel in the auxiliary tank, and you can just go on it on your own if you want for extra long miles. So this particular snowmobile is targeted at a lot of the sort of long distance riders, a lot of them sort of northern, eastern Canada, Quebec, New Brunswick. You see a lot of that type of highway, interstate kind of mindset, where you're putting on big miles, and you're doing it with groups of people, and you're doing overnights in different places. So this one helps you get there for that customer in a lot of comfort and a lot of speed.
Okay, very cool. And, just speaking from my own personal life here, the concept of touring in a snowmobile is just completely foreign to me, because I'm sitting here sweltering in Alabama and you are up there in Canada. So,
yeah.
All right. So what are the new features and upgrades over the 2024 model year that will improve a dealer's ability to sell the 2025 one?
Yeah, so for this year, there's not a whole lot new on this model. It wasn't one that we specifically targeted for this year. So there's color and graphics that are new, but I think probably the biggest selling factor for this unit will be it's the final year. We're not making any more of these after this year. So, and that goes for all of our snowmobiles. This is the final chance to get it. Like I said, we had a strong deposit season, so that means that there's even less available now as a 25 that will be in market. When it comes to the dealers, we had a fixed amount. So the more of those that got swallowed up during the deposit season, now there's less going to be in season. So because the winter was not so good last year, we're seeing some more of those non-current models will still be in the market, but the 2025s are going a little bit faster. So the biggest probably selling feature for this year is the fact that it's part of a very limited quantity of units that will be in the market for 2025. And so if there's somebody thinking about one, I would encourage that they phone a dealer and make a couple calls to see if they've got some coming in. So.
Okay. And can you break down the specs for us?
Yeah, I can give you a high-level overview. So it's got the Genesis 998 turbo four-stroke engine, which is almost it's a landmark engine for us. It's what keeps people riding four-stroke, and the performance and the reliability and the torque that this thing has is renowned in the industry for what it can do. The reliability on it is great as well. So you can put on a lot of miles and big miles and do them in relatively maintenance-free. So. It's got probably the number one thing is the engine. That's what all of our Sidewinder series has, and it's been a big sort of selling feature for our four-stroke snowmobiles. But this particular model has power assist steering as well, so electric power assist steering, which makes it even easier to ride over the course of a long day. It's got an auxiliary fuel tank. So again, if you're putting on bigger miles, then this is something that's going to help you. You don't need to worry about if your fuel's getting low. It's got such a big tank that you're basically going to be able to go all day on this snowmobile without refilling. It's got hand warmers for rider and passenger as well. Strike single keel trail ski is another one. It's a Yamaha designed ski that's very custom made for our 4-stroke snowmobiles. It's got some upgraded suspension and a 1.25-inch lug on the track as well, which allows it to kind of, again, more speed and keep a more comfortable ride, not quite as choppy. So there's a number of things on that sled that make it really ideal for somebody who's an avid snowmobiler.
Okay. Now, with this being a Sidewinder model, obviously your other touring models are more in the transporter name. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah, and as well, it's a little bit utility as well. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess how does this Sidewinder compare to those other touring and utility models you guys have?
Biggest difference, I would say, would be 4-stroke, 2-stroke in terms of the engine technology. So again, this is that sort of low torquey 4-stroke. The other side is the 2-stroke, which is a little bit more sort of probably value oriented, I would say, and it's lighter. There's no doubt about that, but it's a bit more sort of the higher north you go. I know you're in Alabama, but the higher north you go, the colder it gets. Sometimes a 2-stroke will perform a little bit better in those types of applications if it's really, really, really cold. Those are types of things that sort of separate it. And as I mentioned, the transporter is a little bit more utility oriented. So getting some work done, hauling some things. A lot of people use them in work applications. So that's sort of the transporter side, but the GT EPS is it's a bit more of a recreational pursuit or a touring pursuit. So.
Very good. So earlier you mentioned that Yamaha didn't necessarily focus on putting too many new features on this model, but maybe focused on a different one. Would it be safe to say that was perhaps the SRX?
Yeah, well, definitely the SRX is our flagship sort of model that we have. A lot of loyalty amongst snowmobilers and sledders for it. And the reason is because it's built to go fast and it's built to perform and it's built to sort of race anybody on a lake and, and take the win. So there is a big following for this sled, and we wanted to kind of give it a little something extra for our final years. So with the SRX, it's got a lot of the same features as the STX, but it's got a numbered serialized production run for this year. So with the engine being 998 cc's, it worked out that we were able to build 998 of them. And each one, from 1 to 998 will be sold this year in North America. So that's pretty neat. But the kind of cool thing we're doing with that is the actual number 998 we're going to go to auction with. So if somebody truly wants a collector's edition SRX 2025 Yamaha, this will be up for auction. And our marketing team's working on it to sort of figure out how it's going to go. It's going to be an online auction, but probably at a good event where they can get some snowmobilers, actually physically there in person. And the proceeds will go to something to give back to the snowmobile industry. We're not here to make money off that snowmobile. We just want to sort of show our customers and our dealers that on our way out, we want to provide a bit of a parting gift. So we do expect, though, this one will be, it will be outside of a crate, but it'll be in its own special crate when people see it. So I think the first unveiling for it will be at Heydays in the fall. So if you're in the neighborhood, please be sure to check it out. But we'll show that at a few consumer shows this winter. And then the auction will be, of course, on social media. We'll be letting people know when the auction is going to happen, and they'll have the opportunity to bid on the last one. So I'm sure some collectors out there will be watching that with some keen interest. But that's kind of, again, not necessarily a product upgrade in terms of specification, but something kind of fun that we're doing that we hope our customers can get some enjoyment out of. So.
Absolutely, yeah. That's definitely the way to go out with a bang, for sure.
And I actually believe this is the first time we've talked about this publicly. So your readers here will be the first to know about this one. So, or your viewers, I should say.
All right. Now, what have been some of the most common service issues that technicians have had to deal with in past Sidewinder models, or even specifically for the STX? And have those been addressed in the 2025 model?
Yeah, they have, actually. So there was a couple items, nothing too big, but our service team has all had those repaired and addressed for the current model years. So with this situation, anything that's been outstanding within the market, we've gone back and we've made the improvements, and the new parts have been installed. And the 2025 is now the most current version. Those should have been addressed by now.
Excellent. And what are some of the most popular accessories for the Sidewinder S-TX?
Well, there's a few on there that people actually normally get. There's an adjustable riser. Just helps people with the comfort again on a long ride. There's a GPS system that you can get, and of course a cover. Everybody needs a cover, especially again if you're putting big miles. You come out, you're staying at a hotel or something, and there's some snow on the sled. In the mornings, it just kind of takes away or gets iced up. So the cover just helps you kind of maintain that nice pristine sled for when you get up in the morning. I would say those are probably the top three that people are getting or could get for this year.
All right, last question for you. So when are the new models going to arrive in dealerships, and what is Yamaha doing to help dealers move these 2025 units?
Yeah, so a couple of them have already started arriving in our warehouses, so Yamaha's warehouses, but we'll start shipping, all units to dealers probably in the beginning of August, so probably when people are starting to watch this video. And they will arrive throughout the next few months after that. So basically we see after Labor Day, that's when kids go back to school and people start thinking about fall and winter and what they're going to do, and that's when people start to come in and kick tires or tracks, I should say, kick tracks on sleds. And so when that time starts happening, the sleds are going to be in the dealerships and ready, and of course, our deposit customers will start picking them up and getting ready for the season. So in terms of what we're doing to help, as I mentioned, even though we are exiting, this is our final model year, we are staying sort of tightly within the industry at our consumer shows. We have wholesale programs, as I already mentioned, for our dealers to know that there's a sense of security there, and in terms of we're going to be there to support. For customers, we're going to have good sales programs on, making sure that they can get a deal on a new Yamaha. And then, of course, as I mentioned, some of those other initiatives we're doing, we're going to be in the market, whether it's even just having some of our field staff, so our sales managers across both countries, participating in some club events, but even corporate staff heading out as well, and telling the story of the final year of Yamaha snowmobiles. So we do remain engaged in the industry, and we will for years to come. And it's just helping get that message out so people know we're not going to vacate, and they can remain a Yamaha customer for years to come.
Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today, Bryan, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about the 2025 Yamaha Sidewinder S-TX GT EPS.
No, it was great. Thank you very much. And I just want to say thanks for everybody for choosing Yamaha.
For more information about the Sidewinder models or to become a Yamaha dealer, head to yamahamotorsports.com. And as always, stay tuned to MPN for more of the latest and greatest in motorcycle and powersports news.